could still be ringing true for the 100% today. Let's either get pick, banned, or where the priority goes as Champ Select is ready.
That certainly is. Thank you so much, then, Nat. Let's jump into this one, Tally. Let's get ourselves underway. It's been banned. It's been banned. We don't care anymore. We're upset. And all kind of narratives out the window.
Yeah, interesting to see the Udyr ban as well. I thought this would be the champion that Bio like really prioritizes because it like fits his playstyle so much, but we'll have to see why.
Yeah, is this a case of them seeing it being played overseas and thinking that looks a little bit broken, a little bit too easy, so we're just going to deny that? Or is it more a case of we've seen you play it in scrims? That's what I'm always curious about when these bans come out. Bear in mind that Mammoth have lost their first ban, but they will go on and then deny away the Rumble, which makes a lot of sense. Ashe as well, we just need to get rid of the Xin to complete Exodia, and then see what becomes first pick prior for Bliss.
Yeah, I think Bliss's idea is they want to ban these champs that like are just really hard to punish in lane. Like Udyr is just like, he neutralizes everything. Like you can't really do anything about that champ. And they're targeting bot lane here, which I assume they think is their biggest strength. And like I assume Bliss is going to first pick their AD carry as well.
It will certainly seem that way. Certainly on a player like Violet's caliber, want to make sure that he has a champion he can feel comfortable with and deal out the most amount of damage with. Varus, still up and available, would seem to be the premier champion and is certainly getting hovered now. Whether or not they decided to lock that one. And we just saw how strong it was as a double range bot lane. You get priority, you get the level advantage, you get the ability to basically do anything you like. It was diving towers, it was getting dragons, it was just running a map.
Yeah, I mean, this champ's just a bit crazy, and the fact that you can build based on what you're versing, whether you want to go the on-hit or the lethality, is super good, and being flexible in draft is like a really important thing.
Certainly is. You're touching on that a little bit about how itemization across the board, even top laners, are actually benefiting from it a lot as well, right? So you've got your ability to showcase, is your draft good? Well, if it's not, it's going to get punished by those items. Speaking of punishment, Lucian Nami certainly was the hot duo last week. No surprise that it's going to come out once again, but straight away Bliss respond with even more pick potential. We've got a Varus, there's a Vi and a Nautilus, 2 point-and-click ultimates to take you down for as long as possible.
Yeah, we definitely can tell that Bliss has a game plan. Like, they know what they want to do this game. They want to kill bot lane. We're probably going to see like mid-priority, like picked on 4-5 and then something safer by to play, and like they're just going to play bot lane this entire game.
Not like being the focus. Cassante comes out now as well to make sure that Mammoth have a little bit of engage as well as some ability to try and punish you if you don't have the right kind of resistant shreds. They're going to ban away the Azir now, so turn their attention towards these mid laners. Do you expect that to sort of be a bit of a common theme now, like your Azirs, your Corkis, all these kind of late game scalers, or would you still be quite keen on seeing some some mid game, early game push?
If I'm Bliss here, like I'm happy playing either the Azir Corki or mid priority. I think both are good because like if you have the scaling, then you're like a fallback factor for your team comp. But if you have that mid priority, you can really run over the game and just like abuse the red side bot lane.
This is when we get absolutely crazy with it, and Harry just slams into Tristana once again. We get solo AP from Bio in the top lane, and the world begins to heal. They've banned away the Orianna, then comes the Akali too. So really, mid lane is being pinched, 2 scaling, 1 explosive. Obviously know how good Harry can be on that one. So where do Bliss then decide to complete this draft with? That is the next consideration if it were to be another mid laner.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're thinking about here. Like, Harry doesn't have champion pool problems. Like, he can really go anything here. Like, they might, like, pull something random out of the pocket, like Yasuo, and, like, pick an AP top lane, like you said. But more than likely, he's just going to pick some mage mid, maybe even a low bunk, which fits well with their comp, and just, run the game.
Basically. Well, they do take away that Xin, which we expected in the first rotation, but will finally go out in the second. First move then across the Mammoth. We've already locked in this Lucian Nami. They need some AP of their own. They decide to go for the Gwen. So
this is a nice pick. This is a nice pick because they are denying one of the last AP top laners available. And I know Bio does play this, so it is a good pick that they've taken. So more than likely we're seeing the Cassante mid here.
Cassante mid will certainly be an exciting one as Bliss now have to consider, okay, what is our matchup into that? If they've read that as you have, do they go for the Renekton as a top laner or a potential mid laner? Certainly have seen it be played in the mid this season at least. Renekton locked in now, time for the grand reveal. What do you think they're missing? Because the glaring obvious one is the AP, which you still feel like is going towards Harry.
I think Harry's happy to just pick Syndra here. Like, I think you just get free stacks against melee mid laners. Like, you scale insanely, and you fulfill the role that you need to this game. I think it's a completely fine pick. He is hovering the LeBlanc, though, which is also a very good champ.
So she can have the Lucian, we can have this one, almost like that trade-off that Nat was talking about before. Bear in mind, this is 14.1b, the hotfix patch. No longer is AD LeBlanc the go-to. AP should now be the standard variant for it. What are we deciding now for Mammoth? How do you want to complete this composition? You reckon it's Cassante mid? What I need to showcase us what that jungler would be then.
5P jungle, my favorite. Absolute favorite.
Big fan of this?
Yeah. Okay, Wukong I do like a lot. I think that the changes with Titanic and Sundered Sky fit this champion insanely well, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen it picked already. I think this champion's an absolute monster. As you can remember in the past, like what Wukong was able to do on the Rift before he was nerfed.
Look, I remember when he got the buff, especially to jump across the wall with his W, and then we just saw what was it? It was basically like Mammoth and Eladoric on repeat, linking up as a bot duo, and just killing anybody in sight. It's a bit of a strong champion, and what I see for me at least is a ton of burst and a lot of lockdown, right? So if Bliss do have all this ability to go forward, if they make one misstep, Mammoth have the ability to punish.
I really like the draft that Mammoth has pulled out here. I think that like they have really good answers to what Bliss has drafted, and I think that like scaling and teamfight identity-wise, like it does favor them. But Bliss does have the, I've got more CC buttons, like I can find picks kind of thing, which is like really OP and O, so we'll see how the early game goes.
I suppose that becomes the next talking point then. You sort of highlight the qualities that Mammoth have to answer what Bliss have put on the table. Obviously, we look at this one on paper and say Bliss are the heavy favourites with champions amongst them. 2-0, we're not going to be wavered at all by the draft differences here?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm too wavered. I always think that like ease of execution is the most OP thing you can have in competitive games, especially in the early weeks where like everyone's a little bit nervous, you're not feeling like completely solid yet. I think that like having that point and click CC of like, we're going here boys, like it's very easy to execute.
So we talk about ease of execution. Obviously, I'm fully on board with you on that Bliss have it in their favour. I suppose then, playing devil's advocate, what are you really looking to try and see Mammoth accomplish in these early games? I mean, obviously, Lucian Nami wants to be active, wants to try and not fall behind. Definitely does not want to die to that first gank. Is that as simple as that?
Yeah, I think that mid lane is very self-sustainable. We won't see anything happen mid, probably just LeBlanc's getting pushed. I just want to see Gwen and Lucian Nami get through laning phase, because once they get their items, like they can really take over the game,
Well, let's see now what happens, Tally. Welcome to the broadcast as we jump into game one here. Bliss up against Mammoth. Finally, Mammoth get to showcase us what their roster looks like as a full stack. And Bliss get to add to their record, currently 1-0. Looking to make it a perfect week 2 start as well as we jump into the pause. This really is the classic Ghost experience.
My first pause, I'm honored.
Well, now you get the honor of actually just discussing literally anything you like. We just fill the time in.
I mean, okay, so we've seen that Violet has taken Lethal Tempo, which is like the obvious better choice this game. He's versing triple frontline and he does want to go on hit Varus. We'll see if he does go for that full damage Varus or if he goes for that Jack Show and I forgot the name. The
Terminus one? Yes.
Yeah.
So annoying, isn't it? Like you did 200 armor just for free.
You don't understand how frustrating it is. Like I'm playing an assassin mid laner versus an 80 carry. He's tankier than me and he does more damage.
Isn't it crazy that we have all these new items, champions, and seasons go by, but we all suddenly figure out a way to say, what's the most annoying champion build? That means I'm super... Like, it just reminds you of, like, Blue Ezreal. It's every single season something's come out. Obviously, like, Cassante's another good example of that. But they do too much damage, and you just can't take them down in the process.
It's just not fair sometimes. You just feel like you should win, but you just don't because, you get season 14'd.
Yeah. Back in my day, it was season 10, but no, we've gone 4 seasons ahead, and still, it's all about what's broken and what can get the win. Well, let's see what happens then. What do Mammoth decide to go for? No level 1s. Both teams quite keen to fan on out, and both junglers actually starting on their top side, so bot lane really looking to be the focus.
This is a pretty common occurrence now from junglers. Like, you see them starting top side so they can pile down, reset, come back top side, and be around for the grubs at the 5-minute spawn. You don't really see like the junglers wanting to pile the way from the grub spawn anymore.
Look at that, the overwhelming majority of you all believing that Bliss have it. 94% in their favor. I don't doubt you. The question is, can Mammoth cause an upset? Halo coming into this one saying he reckons it's his second best role after mid lane. But he's on the Nami. Certainly the enchanters are the go-to right now. You're going to be obviously very careful as to how you step up in this one because one rogue hook goes out and you're a very squishy fish.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see Halo play support. Like, I think that he has the same ideology as like Isles. I know they're like very good friends, and like I think that they think about the game the same way. So, and we all know how good Isles is. So we'll see how he performs.
Yeah, old teammates from Legacy once upon a time. Even you were there as well. Oh, out goes the ignite. Halo In a lot of trouble there. Thankfully, the hook did not connect. Otherwise, that would have been the easiest first blood, not even at 3 minutes in. But he's burnt Flash, and the only trade was the Ignite. Actually, Scott burning Flash too.
So they've traded flashes, but Why Not is already coming down to punish it. This is very scary for Mammoth.
Yeah, Why Not could be really keen to find this one. He's looking at Nami. Ignore that Lucian. The hook connects. The damage goes across. They hand it into the waiting arms of Violet. And the on-hit Varus gets first blood.
Welcome to bot lane, Halo.
We expected this, didn't we, though? Red side, if you're a bot lane, like, it's going to happen. It's not failed yet.
Yeah, there's just so many avenues of access to bot lane from blue side. It's just really hard to like navigate safely if you're playing something that's a mobile bot lane on red side. So it's just like you have to play really well.
It's crazy when I think about last season. We had to basically dive a tower to try and make that same play happen. And now you can literally just walk on in and say, oh yeah, by the way, like your bot lane is just dead. Harry actually going for a lot of damage on towards E-Hop, who actually gets hit by the chains despite trying to deny a lot of that CC, but he's taking a beating here, Telly. I mean, you say he just wants to try and play at this lane. He's fighting for his survival.
We'll see if he's going to base and catch this wave or stay. Most likely he's looking to stay here, so he is quite susceptible to dying here because he's W's on cooldown.
Oh! Harry's actually going to jump in and try and get the kill underneath the tower. Goodo's going to jump across the wall as well, so the Cassandre survives. Harry, however, is going to pop his clone, and that will be just it. Scott not going to land the hook that he's after, just underneath the turret, looking to try and make 2 plays at 2 separate times, but Why Not's in the area, waiting for the wave to crash. It's a cannon minion, 2 waves stacked. This would be a massive denial if they can get the kill right now. The 2-man punch, the damage onto Duck, he's going to fall on down. Scott tanking the tower, he falls down first. A kill gone across again. Both AD carries benefit, but now Violet's 3-0.
This is honestly a best case scenario for Mammoth. Like trading 2 and your AD carry has TP to get back. Like they are not in the worst position, even though Violet is starting at 3-0 already.
It's just crazy. The fact that you can put all that attention to that bot lane, you're thinking that really is quite good for Mammoth. But then you still look at the scoreboard and go, hang on a minute, he is a 3-0 Varus. Let's see once again, it's a beautiful engage.
Yeah, this is just like textbook diving. Like I know like Scott's like happy to die here. Why Not dying is unfortunate, but all they care about is getting gold onto Violet. Like they know he's the win condition.
Try to tether Scott in the area, but obviously Unstoppable cancels that once again. Not going to deter him from going for the Glacial proc and just making his presence known. He hopes only just got back to this lane with the TP, already down to 70%.
This is one of my biggest pet peeves when I'm playing like, I know you can't kill me, but they still come mid and gank me just to like annoy me. Like it's one of my biggest pet peeves in this game.
It's a mental battle. It's like,
yeah.
Can you tilt based on what you think the lane should play out as? Yeah, I feel you on that one. So if you're bot lane now, I suppose you can try and discuss the narrative from both sides. If you're Violet, you're thinking this game's already won. We know how much of a 1v9 mechanic max play he can be as the game goes on. But if you're like the Lucian Nami, is it as easy as saying this lane's already lost?
Okay, the lane is definitely over. Like they're never going to win a 2v2 from this point. They just need to be able to sustain from this point onwards because it's pretty much as bad as it's going to get. I hope Goodo is able to cover them on dives because they can't really contest the wave anymore. You'll just constantly see stacking lanes in mid-bot, and Scott's just going to run in between lanes and punish like he is now.
Like he absolutely is. Yeah, just Hex Slash across the wall, looking at E-Hop and saying, I could go for you, I'm just going to bet at your W instead. Goodo has to protect, and that feels bad, despite him being so much further ahead of Why Not in terms of camp clears. He's got his work cut out for him, drawn around by everybody, giving him question mark things as the, I need help, I might be getting ganked. Violet certainly may be. But they can't even take him in a 1v2. And I think for Why Not, he's happy to lose the camp clear because he bets what? He gets Dragon and he's going to get all the Void Grubs too.
Yeah, Bliss is having a really good early game. Like even though not many kills are happening from these roams, like you see they're missing lots of minions and like the gold will stack up over time. Like they're working together really well as a team.
Well, up by 1,000 gold, only 7 minutes into this one. You can see that all 3 have been picked up. So certainly well on the path for the next respawn to try and acquire those Void Mites. We'll have to see if they put too much of their attention towards that when it does appear. But as you say, bot lane, especially for Mammoth, just looking to try and coast through this one and not fall even further behind. But I suppose the quietest and the one that you really wanted to also keep your attention on in the early game was Nectar on this Gwen. I think top lane's probably been the quietest of them all.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job navigating early game. Like this is definitely a Renekton matchup early, but like Gwen will just eventually stat check him with time. Like it's good to know that like they have the win condition in top lane still because he's being stable.
Is it a game, say for example, if things were to go in their favor and Nectar does get fairly fed, is it a game in which you can actually execute that? Because I just see, once again, there's so much CC to lock him down, he might not get, you know, the clarity or the cleanse-like movement to, you know, keep walking around and getting resets and snipping people down.
I think this is definitely a really good Gwen game. Like the fact that there's so many melee champs and a mobile AD carry, like you can really make use of your like ult to engage onto the Varus. And like his team has so much CC as well in follow-up. I think he's in a pretty good position.
Let's see if he can hold his own then in this one, because the team will certainly be rallying around him being a point of strength. They'll certainly need it, as Bios is going to try and keep him in check for this early game, as the Renekton certainly does best. Items starting to come on through, but it's only tier 2 boots so far here for Violet, given that was so early on into this game. And I guess then for E-Hop, right, as you say, he's just copying the damage, he's receiving the ganks. He'll be looking to try and utilize that ability once level 6 comes online, or once level 6 is active for him to use a key hijacking ability onto somebody, take them out of the fight and try and get themselves back in with a shutdown on, importantly. Obviously, Violet looks so attractive right now with the 300 gold bounty on his head, but easy said than done.
Yeah, I think I'll be really surprised if I see Cassandra able to like navigate anything from this position until team fights happen. I think that like LeBlanc's especially like a champ you won't really see get like flipped into turret and solo killed. She's just way too mobile. Like we'll just have to see if he's able to work through the rest of the laning phase and like perform in team fights.
So for Mammoth, would you say that itemization changes much based on the fact that they do find themselves at a little bit of a deficit here? I mean, for bot lane, I wouldn't imagine too much changes, given that the Lucian build is fairly static in its regard. First Strike just want as much burst as you can, but I'm wondering if we'll see anything change for both mid and top. We'll hold that full for 2 seconds, because we're looking at both junglers being in the area. Hook goes out, Scott starts it off, Chain of Corruption's landed, knocks them up as well, and it's just CC galore. Halo pops the heal, but he's just locked down for such a long time that Flash doesn't even exist.
Yeah, that's just the combo of like the double CC. Gudo didn't even try. He knew he couldn't really do much there.
It's a bit of a rough affair. Duck going to chuck out the culling, try and do as much as he can into Violet. Does actually draw his respect, and the Summoner Hill being burnt on his end as well. So they'll take what they can get, and they certainly need as much as they can get at this part of the game. Because 10 minutes in, it's a 4-0 Varish. AD carry is living their best life right now, but Gudo's going to try and get one. He's going to try and take something back, and thankfully, it goes into the hands of Duck.
Scott deciding to hold the flash there, which is fine. Like he knows that if he holds his flash, like he can punish them in lane. So like this kill is like whatever. But it's nice to see that Mammoth are able to execute on bot, as Why Not is looking.
They certainly are looking. Out goes the cease and desist. They look at it. The bubble on his head doesn't matter. Why Not just circles that and laughs at it. And well, 4-0 becomes 5. Why Not says, don't worry, mate. I'll get this job done. Flashes to commit to make sure it does certainly happen. 2 turret shots hit him. And with the double buffs, he certainly does not want to give that one across. But Gudo can't confirm. He can't take it.
Yeah, that's just textbook. Like you just don't stay around to push the wave in. Like Why Not comes, like he's experienced, he knows what like bot lane state is, and he just punishes like that. And all the gold is going in the right places as well. Like we're gonna see Varus with his completed item already. This guy is on track to take over the game.
Yeah, we talk about like getting a mythic item back in the day. Last season at 10 minutes, you've probably just won the game. Well, this guy actually just went for the tier 2 boot straight away. I look at Duck and say, hey, he's got a Kraken Slayer. He must be pretty on par, but no, down 20 CS, down 3 kills. And now you have tier 2 boots with the Blade of the Rune King. I mean, look at the total gold. He's in a league of his own right now.
Yeah, and Bliss is also going to pick up the 6 grubs, I believe. So they're going to be able to push their lead on tower damage like an insane amount.
They certainly are. They're not losing anything for it, right? Sure, they're going to concede what is the positioning onto Dragon, but it looks like they actually want to contest that as well. They're up, 2,500 gold. They know that if we can bring our Varus to this fight, we're really, really strong. So not only will we claim a few of those Void Grubs, we're going to try and deny you from this. We want everything, and that's exactly what they'll find. Double ultimates going into the Nami once again. Actually wrong. Onto the Lucian, I say. Violet is dominating. He has been all game long. He wants to be the MVP. He won't get the kill with the Rain of Fire. Another auto comes across, but Halo's trolling him, and the kill goes into the arms of Why Not instead.
Scumbag Halo denying the kill. Yeah, they're just setting a trap there, and Mammoth try rotate back to bot lane from the Dragon, and they just get caught. It's just, I don't know, it's just textbook trap. You can't really do much when like you don't have control of the map. The enemy has like 3 prior lanes. It's really hard to play.
They only managed to take one of these Void Grubs, so they'll be sitting on 4 out of potential 6. So if Nectar and Gudo, I should say, can deny any of these, and the Void Mites will not come out to play. Bio trying to shield this and potentially give his team some vision and potential to claim and contest this very last one. That's what they'll be after. It's going to be a 2v3 if they do go for it, but Mammoth to say it's not worth us losing anything extra for this. We'll give that one across.
Yeah, it's just not worth the risk. you don't really get anything out of getting like 2 like grubs. It's completely fine to give it. Bio was just staunching, and with the priority from mid lane, the carry is just able to show that like you're not getting these if I'm around.
Where's that fight once again, right? It's all Duck just jumping across the wall and doesn't realize that, hey, there's 2 people waiting and they have the CC, they have the damage. They've got a killer conviction.
Yeah, like once again, if you're out of position and not lands a hook, like you're not gonna be able to move.
We're about to see Deja Vu. Will it really happen again? They're so pushed up right now. Face check onto Nautas. Out goes the tidal wave. The bubble. It is going to connect. He didn't sight it, but in time. Violet in a lot of trouble right now. The Cyclone comes through. Duck gets a massive shot down. It's 1k gold. And we're only 13 minutes in.
That's exactly what you wanted. That's exactly what you need. You want your 80 carry to gain that huge amount of gold. They're going to be able to get plates as well here. Like, I think this may close the gold gap slightly, if I'm correct. We'll have to see.
Well, it certainly has helped for the overall game state, as they were down a fair bit before, but that's going to help even out things and make sure that this Lucian is a relevant factor. I mean, you're thinking they're far too advanced here, but he just face checks and says, nah, we're still making this play.
This is good by Halo to like just ignore the Nautilus and go straight on the Varus. They know he doesn't have flash from the earlier kill, and they just dive straight on him, they take him out, and they're able to clean up Nautilus as well.
Beautifully done. Goodo once again with the right place, the right time. He's, as we said before, had his work cut out for him, but he's been able to try and equalize this game. A good few ganks directed towards that bot lane, and as you say, certainly has evened things up a lot more for Duck. Still going to be down, what, 800 gold, but a much better place than he was, what, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is definitely a much better game state for Mammoth. Something that's like really underrated as well for like a rookie roster is like when you get a kill like that in this kind of game state, you find a lot of momentum. And everyone starts speaking a lot more. You're going to find like a lot more confidence in your like plays. You're going to be looking more aggressively, which is like really good at what they need to do right now.
We talked about the strength of those Void Grubs. A whole collection of them picked up here by Bliss. They've really been on the point when it's come to objective games. Everything has really belonged to them. They're going to go for the Herald as well, which is just so strong. They're pushing potential to take them as mid-tier 1. Like, on my screen, it's already gone. It doesn't exist.
See if Why Not wants to drop the Rift Tail and drive it into the mid-turret here, or if he'll hold it for the objective respawn of Dragon.
Good consideration. That is up in 2 minutes' time. Do they feel like they don't even need the Herald to break open mid? It would seem to be the case, as lane assignments are going to switch on out. So bot lane's planted in the mid lane, as they decide to go down bot and continue their 1v1. Actually, bit of a roam going between Scott and Why Not right now. Looking to try and head out Biopanther, who has to force out the Dominus. Nectar going in for the snip and the execute of his own. Wants to try and get another kill for them. He's going to try and life leech up as much as he can, but knocked into the air once. Another stun to follow, another bit of damage, and a piercing arrow from down the lane. And Violet gets himself back in the mix.
Yeah, poor Nectar. Like he's just trying to push his lead right now, but you know it's a real shame when support and jungle just show up and ruin your day as a top laner. But that's just how it is sometimes.
He really thought it was a fair 1v1. He thought he had it all, but no, suddenly 4 members rock up to the lane. He's just like, well, what is happening elsewhere? What can my team accomplish? And yeah, unfortunately for them, not much. In the bot lane right now, as Harry once again jumps in onto E-Hop, looking to try and keep him at arm's bay. I mean, just wondering whether Why Not was considering anything for a second. It didn't have ultimate, but certainly it's very strong right now with Thunder Sky complete. He's got the Grievous wounds too. Anybody comes into action with, it's going to be a bit of a battle.
That item is definitely overtuned right now. Like we've seen 2 of them on the top jungle. I think that like having a crit on a bruiser is quite overtuned, and you'll see like you can just flash onto people and one-shot them.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it on a lot of bruisers, and it's just been such an insane item spike, especially in an economy where, you know, bruisers or junglers maybe only get to a couple of items before they have to sort of concede everything across to their carry players. It's a great place to be. There's the magical item in mid lane that we don't know how to pronounce. Kanik Rukun. Rukun. We're going to call it that. It is the spell shield, and it's going to be so impactful here for Cassante.
He's grabbed the Galio ult.
He has. Yeah, he's grabbed the champion. He's literally taken a passive and said, that's mine.
Oh, I'm definitely feeling the pain he's going through though. Like I've been in these positions where you're playing a melee mid laner into a range champ and you just do not get access to gold. You're being constantly bullied out. Sometimes you do just get a 17-minute first item.
Hey, but you've been on the receiving end, right? Like you've been set into like a Lucian matchup, for instance. And I think from watching those games, it was all about you ignore your lane, you just look for opportunities elsewhere, which we've yet to see E-Hop accomplish.
Yeah, not so much his fault. It's really hard to find access to like team fights when the rest of your map is being shut down so hard. He's just really, you know, sitting around waiting for team fights.
Well, what a team fight breakout here, at least a major skirmish with 4 out of the 5 members from either side looking to try and rock up to this one. A TP in the middle of the lane, coming in from Nectar, trying to make this a 4v5. Bio can match, but he's choosing not to at the meantime. Bliss is just walking away. In goes Good Flash, Cyclone Smite, and slowed him down. Initially the target was Scott, but then they said, let's get violent. He just turns around and says, have you forgotten? I've got 7 kills, 2 items, and a bucket load of damage. How dare you overcommit? They've run into the enemy jungle. They've not paid the price, and they're going to get completely aced.
I mean, just beautiful kiting from Violet. I really like the idea from Mammoth, the TP and the flank from the side. Just unfortunate they didn't all commit onto killing the AD carry, who was the main damage coming from that roster. But yeah, just once again, like, well played to Violet for kiting that out so well.
Let's run it back with the replay once again. So TP in initially from Nectar, you're thinking, okay, Gudo's got the inline track, but he just weren't able to commit to the kill after.
Yeah, as you can see, like, Gudo does find the engage onto Violet, but the rest of the team doesn't commit onto him. They try to turn onto the front line team and kill, but like, you really have to take out this double item AD carry. Like, he's doing way too much damage to be left alone like this.
Yeah, Rage Blade, Blade of the Rune King, just gets the standard auto. I mean, at that point, you've been infused with so much power, you've ascended. You've hit that god status.
He's got PI. He's online.
He has got PI. He's got a pocket PI, and he's living his best life right now. And that's exactly what you want to be as a carry. You know, if you're, you've got all the items, you've got all the damage, you've scaled up, you've checked your vault, you've won at life, you've got the leech. I mean, really, at this point, you're living in Exodia.
It's a good time to be. It's a good time to be Violet.
It is, and like I say, we already know how blessed he is when it comes to those team fights. So this is the initial impression of, well, look at laning phase, look at these early fights. Want us to take into consideration what they've got to look forward to, right? They've got another Hera up in 30 seconds. They've got a Soul Point, which is Infernal for even more damage. That's in, what, 4 minutes? It's a tough battle for Mammoth. But look, to Duck's credit, as well as Halo and the Snami, they found ways to try and keep this Varus honest.
Yeah, I think they did navigate the early game quite well for how bad it went, to be fair. Like, obviously, this Varus is insanely strong, but it could have been much worse than it is right now, as we are setting up for a dive onto Bai, which I think looks quite hard.
It does look quite hard. He doesn't have flash for about 5 seconds. He's going to try and do whatever he can to hold this one by trimming the way first of all, so all these attacks go on towards the enemy members. The 3-man divers, Nami rocks up, completely gets faulted. He just hits an ultimate and laughs at them and says, well, look at the rest of your map. Mid lane doesn't belong to you, nor does top lane. And if you're all down bot, that's a Baron on spawn.
This is just classic Bai. Like, he knows what he can get away with. He's been in this position so many times, and this Varus is going to absolutely shred this Baron. I don't think Mammoth are going to be able to come anywhere close to this. Like, they know this. They're already posturing to just completely give this and trade any gold they can find.
That's exactly right, yeah. Objective bounties going in their favor. That's not going to be anything to contend with the power that is a Baron Nashor on spawn. That will be the icing on the cake for them. And now they're keen for blood. They say, well, there is a lonely Lucian caught on mid-wave. It is the curse of the AD carries. A flash, as well as that dash, to try and run as far as they can. But he's forgotten he's into a LeBlanc, and that champion is OP.
And here's the AP LeBlanc boss coming in. Like, AP LeBlanc, Giga Chad. AD LeBlanc, Elo inflated. I'm glad to see AP back.
But he's got the Leandri's Torment now. That item, oh, rather that kill, funding his power spike even further. There is the Magi's at 9 stacks too. So Harry looking to try and have a bit of a competition, I suppose, with Violet, who's now gone for the cursed item. The Terminus is coming on through, and if we get Jack Show, if this game even goes that late, I mean, look how far ahead he is in gold. He'll be ahead in every single stat. Resistances and damage.
He's the tankiest. It's like that old Ornn meme, you know. He's like everything on the team. He's the engaged tank, mage. Like he just does everything with this build.
What a time to be alive as an AD carry player, right? You can live and survive in solo queue games when you're down, what, 4 levels on the enemy top laner who's just ganking your lane on repeat. He's going to be a tough one to take on down, even if Flash is not available. So Gudo's going to have his work even more cut out for him now to try and make those Flash Cyclone plays. Let's see then what Bliss get accomplished with this Baron buff. Currently targeting 2 lanes at once with Harry pushed it in mid, so a 1-4 split. Mammoth have to really concede as much of this as they can.
And like speaking to what Mammoth can do right now, we do see the TP ward on bot, and we'll have to see if E-Hop wants to TP on that ward in flank, because I feel like that's the only fight they're going to get as they are diving.
They certainly are. Vio's the one to start things off with the Flash ultimate, baiting in their attention. 2 kills found straight away. Violent Harry straight on the chopping board to say, it's too easy. We just have that much damage. 15 stacks now for the LB. Shutdown found nearby Nectar, taking out Wino, who went for the commit, but couldn't find much more than that. 4 members dead. A lonely Gwen against the world, forced to defend their base into a Baron-inspired opposition. 50 seconds remaining, and even inside that circle of immunity, there is the ace.
And this will definitely be a game for Bliss. Like, well played. Like, I think that the fact that they just engage, they pull the trigger as soon as they see it is like really good to see from an O's team.
It's a clean victory, isn't it? 10-1 is the scoreline here for Violet. 23 minutes on the dot, and they've completely exposed the Nexus. The Baron-inspired minions are getting the job done as they pad their KDA even further with Halo forced to flash back to the fountain. It does not matter. Their game is done, and Bliss, in very convincing fashion, assert their dominance.
Yeah, this bot lane that you've seen on your screen, like, honestly really well played to them. I think the impact they had on that game, being able to translate their lead from bot to mid, is the reason why they were able to take that game so easily.
So it seems to be that way. I guess really for us, we're curious to see what can change in the second game, right? Given the fact that Bliss will then be switching sides onto red. What can Mammoth get accomplished on the blue side? Can they bring things back? Can they cause a bit of an upset? We'll find out right after the short break.